There we go. How's everybody doing? This is Jose Trujillo. I am an artist and just wanted to do this short video with you guys of a little painting demo, tutorial, session. People call it different things. I guess it's not so much a full tutorial because I'm showing just the canvas. I'm not showing everything, like mixing colors and that kind of stuff. But nevertheless, it's something awesome. So here we go. So I'm gonna do what would it be? Sort of loose impressionistic type of work. I'm gonna start with a line right here, and it's a little landscape. So I like to do small works, also small drawings, and one of the reasons why it's because it allows me to test different subject matter, to try, right? Not so much test, but try, and what I like really well, or what it catches my eye, then I paint it larger, as opposed to just going and painting like, which there's nothing wrong at all with that. It's just I feel like this allows me to play more before I jump onto a bigger canvas. It's either way, it's the same thing. So I'm not saying that one is better than another one. So hi Pat, thank you for joining in. So either one, it doesn't matter. It's not that. If you paint small or you paint large, it's going to do any magic to it. I just get to try different compositions, different approaches to. Sometimes I'll start from the background. Sometimes I'll start from the front. Foreground. It doesn't matter. So, but yeah, this is pretty much how I like to do it. I like the approach. I've been paying attention a lot to the classic artists, classic to us right now, but they were modern in their time. They were very hip in their time. I've been paying a lot of attention to not just what they painted, which is one thing that many people like to do. Like, oh, look, he did, he or she did the brush stroke like this, or they use these colors. I try to go a little, for me, what I consider a little deeper, in the sense that I like to see what their approach, their psyche was like, what they were thinking about it, because I believe that gives me a better understanding of the type of mentality that is required in order to be an artist, because that's what we try to strive for. No, I mean, why else would we try to study Monet or Cézanne or whatever type of artist you enjoy? These big names, right? I call them the bigwig artists. Why else would we want to do that if it's not because we enjoy the success they had, whether it was in the art world, or it was like Van Gogh in the approach to painting, in their a personal thing that it wasn't taken to the, at least while he was alive, right? Taken to the galleries or the market, however you want to look at that. So I like to go into what they were thinking. What were they talking about? What were these guys? And you can learn a lot in their letters, but sometimes in their letters they were still trying to find out. So one of the things that I like to do, they were still trying to figure it out, I think. if we read their letters, the ones that wrote letters to each other, to friends, to dealers, art dealers, or whatever. One of the things I like to do is I like to see how they started seeing things when they were older, when they were ready to pass, to go to the next life. I like to see that because that gives me a better understanding of their approach. I believe that if we look at an artist before he's ready to, as we say in Spanish, hang the gloves, the boxing gloves, before he or she is ready to depart, they have some interesting things to say. So one of the things that I like is Degas, right? Degas said in his later years, I was barely getting the hang of it. And to me that's a very interesting thing, because very interesting quote, something interesting, because it resonates with me. It's you're always trying to figure it out, how to do light, how to do this, how to create perspective. Or if you're a colorist like myself, I consider myself a bit of a colorist. I like to play with color and form as opposed to just line and draftsmanship. And then you kind of start looking at what these guys are talking about. To me, it's very interesting to hear that. I was barely getting the hang of it. It's like, wait a minute, you were not trying to become a better artist. You were not trying to learn how to. Let me retract from that. You were not trying to become a better painter, quote unquote. You were trying to express yourself better. That's what I hear when that's what I think when I hear that. It's not that there was more to learn. What I feel he was saying is I didn't get to unlearn enough, and unlearn of a bit more esoteric approach of this perceived ideas of what it is to be an artist. I didn't get to learn enough. To unlearn, enough. And that to me speaks volumes, because as I believe that as artists, we are not necessarily, and there's different ways of seeing it. I'm speaking about myself. There is not necessarily that you're learning how to create something better. Of course, there's that, right? There's the training, the skill set, or whatever. But that shouldn't take your whole life, unless you're seeking for some strange perfection that in this case you're doing something else other than simply painting, But for me, it speaks volumes in how this artist used to see this, this approach, because it was almost a spiritual type of process, and I don't mean spiritual in the sense of like something religious or something I believe or something. It's the opposite. I'm not. They get to experience something that didn't require I believe. They get to experience sort of dropping, ideas. As you're painting, I think that you start dropping ideas. I think that that's really the key. In my experience, that has been the key. Because why would you create artwork? You can't paint something that This is something that it's a strange concept, I know, but you can't paint something that you only, I guess I should rephrase it, that you only know the name of. Because then at that point you're only seeing the learned, the conditioned aspect of it. You're only seeing the tree, right? So if I say I'm going to paint a tree, I start thinking about what a tree is rather than experiencing it, rather than really just paying attention to it, not trying to create a formula of what a tree should be, or what a tree, or let me pay attention to this photograph correctly. I know so many artists, that's their approach. That's fine. I think there's room for every type of approach. The approach that I'm suggesting here, the one that I believe that these artists, this what I call the bigwig artists, have been doing, is a very almost Zen, type approach. It's very different. It's a very different approach. That's why I got it in my personal practice when I wish I would have heard that. When I read Manet's quote that said, "Only one thing is true: paint the subject as quick as possible." And after you create a few thousand paintings, you start realizing what he meant. At least, I don't think you have to, but it took me that long to start realizing what the man meant. There is a zone, a harmony that is playing, and you're either in it or you're not. And the way to go in it is to silence the mind. And I don't think this is only in painting. I think this is in other aspects of life. But we get to see it in painting a lot. It's very well expressed in painting, or in not just painting, in artwork in general. Because it's visual, right? So it's expressed there. It's very visual. I've talked to some people who train horses and do activities like that. Very, very activities that you have to be. I mean, every activity should be extremely focused. But some activities, if you're not focused, I mean, you like mountain climbing and things like that, and something really bad could happen, right? As opposed to my painting came out crooked or So I've been talking to some people that do some interesting activities, and they too find that like, yeah, if you're not completely focused, and being focused doesn't mean that you're thinking. It means the opposite. It means that you're not thinking. There is a room for the thinking, but you can't think, well, why did I put that blue there? Here, let me think about it. No, you can only, that's why Manet said there's only one thing true. One thing is only true in artwork. Paint as quick as possible, what you see. And not being desperate, not in a desperate type of, oh my God, like running against time. No, it's not that. It's a different feeling. It is quick, but you don't mean to be quick. As a result, you become quick. You don't really need to be quick. The speed will be born out of that, out of the focus. Out of being so focused, then you develop the speed. And if you'd like to, you amp up the speed. I didn't always paint quick. It was, I liked it. I was always pulled towards it, but I didn't always did it. I didn't always do it because it was, I thought it was looked down upon, and it wasn't the right thing to do, or, what is the art world going to think? That kind of stuff, What will the art world think of me? All the 3 people that know me, what will they think of me? So I pulled away from it, but now I'm back. Now I'm painting however I want to. Some stuff is faster than others, but the speed doesn't really matter. What matters is the focused attention, and focus doesn't mean slow, and focus doesn't mean detail, as we're taught. Many people think that. It doesn't mean slow. It doesn't mean detail. Focus just means you're all in it. It's like a race. You could be going a mile, 1,000 miles an hour or whatever, and you're focused. And it could look very abstract, and you're still focused. You could do something very detailed and completely be unfocused. How many times do we see a painting or any art that is very detailed, but it just doesn't do anything for us? We look at it and we're like, "Oh, that's nice." Yeah, we use certain words because we recognize, our soul recognizes that the person, and this is not always, right? But how many times have we seen that? You know, why do we get why do we gravitate towards paintings by Van Gogh? You know, so many people gravitate towards paintings by Van Gogh. His paintings were not detailed at all, but they had an intense amount of focus. I mean, if you just look at it, any painting, you realize that the man was looking and looking and looking. I've heard this from another person, an author, how he said that looking at a Van Gogh painting, you realize the amount of looking he did, of just observation, not thinking, but observation. I'll leave you guys with that. This is another one of my awesome videos. Thank you so much. I'm very, you know, let's do something a little bit, something else. You know, sometimes I like to go with the back of the brush. Trying to be a rebel here with the back of the brush. Why? I don't know. It just, you know, sometimes stuff just feels right, and there is no right or wrong. It just feels right. No idea why. I just kind of. I used to be a guitarist. I guess I still am, but I used to play more. And one of the things that I realized is that if you practice enough, there comes a point where if you just pay attention to the music, not your instrument, your hands will know what to do. It's a strange concept in the beginning to grasp because it could be, it could very well be mistaken with being desperate or being wishy-washy. Or, you know, I was accused of many things when I was a musician. I was accused of being very, very wishy-washy, fishing for notes, that kind of stuff. Of course, I was accused by people who were also musicians, not by the listeners. The listeners loved it. At least that's what, you know, that's what I got out of it. The name is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist. I love to share my process and my insights, my thoughts on what it is to be an artist. I also have a YouTube channel where you guys can check out more of my cool videos, and you guys can see some more of my awesome paintings. And I talk about every aspect of being an artist. I think just about every aspect, from removing doubt, you know, removing artist block, to just about, you know, selling artwork and arranging your art studio. I also do a series of videos with my wife. She helps me. She works with me. We're in this together, and we talk about that too. About, you know, having your spouse on board with your art, you know, career, and or just life in general. It doesn't have to be your career. I mean, it's just another extension of it. But it's there. You know, it's together. You can't have something separate. It's all the same thing. So I'll leave you with that. Let me do a little close up. There we go, guys. Oh, let me bring it out of focus, I guess. Yeah, or into focus. Here we go. Take care, guys, and I will be making more videos soon. So stay tuned. Bye-bye.